Okay, we are starting to record. So the first thing that instructors need to know is that 2 weeks before the module begins, you will get access to your new course shells. The new course shells will invite you, Canvas will send you an email invite per you being scheduled in Campus View. So if you have not received your Canvas shells 2 weeks before the module starts, please contact your campus supervision and make sure that they have scheduled you in Campus View. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing that everyone should have is access to the MA module setup course. So let's go ahead and get into here. If you do not have this course, please let me know and I'll be happy to add you to it. So this is our documentation course. It's going to help us stay straight with making sure that we're consistent and setting up all of our courses exactly the same across all of our company. So first thing that you need to do is go to the MA Canvas course checklist and download that. This is a checklist, if you haven't used it before, where you are going to just follow the steps and walk yourself through setting up your course. That way you know that you have not missed anything and that it's done properly. Okay, this is a fillable PDF, and even though you can't see them on this screen, there are little drop downs that will come in here to help you choose your courses. Okay, once you've done that, then you're going to go to the module that you're going to be teaching, and we'll use module 2 because this is the one that we're currently in. You'll find for the online instructors that there is a course setup sheet, and it always has a date on it. So this is my 2 MA online course setup sheet for the 5/19 start, and you can download this as well. So this would be for our online section. So what this does is it breaks each course down by the week, and then it tells what day of the month, what week of the month that you need to be setting up your assignment due dates in. So week 1, you would set all your due dates between 5/19 and 5/25. So we're going to go into, I think we just started week 2. So this week, all of your assignment due dates should be between 5/26 and 6/2. There's also another one of these for our on-ground. So you would click here for your on-ground setup sheet, and that would look like this. So here's our module 2 for on-ground. Here are the courses that are taught on-ground. And then here are what you would be assigning. So for MA course 103, you would be assigning everything in the course to your on-ground students. It's a clinic course as well as a MA 105. MA 101B for on-ground, you would be only assigning discussion 1-1, 4-1, 7-1, then all the assignments in the course, all the row, and all the tests. So hopefully this will help keep people on track and take away some of the anxiety about who gets what. Okay, once your course is all set up and you've checked off every box, then you're going to save your checklist, save that, and then you're going to upload it to the corresponding date. So right here is D1 5/19. So you'd click in here and then submit your list. This is just our way of documenting that everything has been done properly and that we're all set and ready to go. Okay, so let's go into what a course looks like. I know you're all familiar with that. This has all the main parts to it that are pertinent for our training today. Okay, first thing you need to do once you get into a brand new course is, and again, you're going to be doing this because you're following the checklist, you'll be going to settings. And in settings, we're going to go to the section tab. In sections, we are going to create our student sections. So the first one we're going to notice is the training practice course. Now this is our default section. The default section is made by Canvas when the course is created, and we're not using this. This is just our default. So everybody who ends up being invited to the course gets set in the default section. It's up to us to separate them into on ground and online. So to do that, we have to create those sections. So we're going to create online. Now I've already done this in previous training, so it remembers. So I would either type this in or I can just click online and create my section. And then we're going to put in on ground. Now it's really important that we are all consistently using the same verbiage for our courses. And the reason we want to do that is because it's not just the campus and the students that are having access to these courses. We have corporate personnel, we have auditors that come in here. We might even have somebody from ABHES that will be looking at the courses, and we need to be able to make them consistent across the board. So please only name your sections online and on ground. Do not name them traditional, do not name them hybrid, keep them simple. Now for those of you who have multiple day classes and you have two sides to your on ground, you can name one on ground and then next to that put A or B or the teacher name to keep that straight, but just make sure you're using online and on ground. Okay, so once we have those created, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our students to the course. Now students are added to the Canvas course 1 week before the course actually starts. So just like instructors were populated into the course through Campus View, the students get populated into the course through Campus View as well. So that happens 1 week before. So 1 week before, when your students start to appear, you're going to go back to People section, and we're going to add our students to the sections we made. So I have 2 fictitious students. We have Shana and a test student. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Shana to my online. So I come over to my 3 dots, click on those, and I go Edit Sections. And I'm going to start typing online in here and choose online and then update. Now notice Shana now has online. And we're going to do the same with the test student, but this student is going to be our on-ground student. So click the 3 dots, Edit Sections, on ground, and update. Okay, so now I have all my students properly set in the sections I need them to be in. Now I'm ready to put dates, due dates, into my assignments. So the first thing, and I suggest you do this, is go to modules. Now the reason I like to go to modules to set my due dates is because I can see what week or what day they're in. If I just go to assignments, they're all jumbled up. So let's take a look. See, assignments, it doesn't tell me what week or what day they're in. So that, to me, makes it harder for me to determine a date. So I'm just going to go to modules. Now the first one I'm going to do is a row assignment. Now all row assignments are completed by all the students in the course, regardless if they're online or on ground. So let's go to row assignment. And I'm going to go to Edit. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Now the default setting for all work is going to be everyone. Now obviously, yeah, everyone's going to do them, but we want to make sure we're putting them in the sections because this gives us the ability to filter later on. So we're going to never use everyone, and we're going to click off that, and we're going to go online. And we can also add on ground at this point if we have the same due date, or we can do them separately. I prefer to do them separately. It's up to you. I'm going to go online, and then I'm going to.
And a question came in, and it said, do the sections need to be in all caps like your example?
No, they don't. They just have to have the same word.
Thank you.
All caps, just because I did billing for a long, long time, and it had to be all in caps, so I'm just used to it. Okay, so I'm going to set a due date. We'll set a due date for tomorrow for this one. And then notice that there is an until date that is populated. That until date is going to be always the last day of the module. So it's not the 14-day extension, but the last day that students are physically working on that course in class. So we're going to do, and please don't change that. We're going to go to assign it to our on-ground students next. And I'm going to have my on-ground students have a different due date. So I'm going to have them due on that Monday. And then I have to fill in that until date, June 16th. Okay, and then I'm going to go save. Now, don't let this scare you. You're going to get a little warning box that comes up, and it's just telling you, hey, you forgot. You didn't give it to anybody in the training practice course. Is that what you want? Yeah, I don't want that. I want them in their individual sections. So I'm going to go continue. Okay, so let's take a look at what row 1 looks like in our grade book. Okay, so here's row 1, and I have 2 dashes here. So I know that students have been assigned that to complete. So let's go back to my modules. Okay, now I'm going to assign the discussion 1-1 only to the online students. And I can see that discussion 1-1 doesn't go to the day students. So there's discussion 1-1. I'm going to go edit. And I'm going to come down and get rid of everyone. And I want it only for my online. So I'm going to go online. And I'm going to give them a due date. I'll give them a due date of tomorrow. And I still have my until date. I'm going to go save. Now it's telling me you didn't assign it to any on-ground and you didn't assign it to practice training course. And that's correct. I do not want my on-ground students having to worry about participating in this discussion. It is not for them. So I'm going to go continue. So let's take a look and see what that looks like in the grade book. So discussion 1-1, now you see a little dash here. That's for my online student, Shayna. And look at, there's no dash here because I did not assign it to my on-ground test student. So they won't even see discussion 1-1 as something to complete. It won't even appear for them to do. So let's go back. And discussion 6-1 is going to be completed by both sections because I see it here and I also see it in the day section here. So it doesn't matter which one I click on because it's the same discussion. It's just a copy. Go to edit and I'm going to assign it to both. So get rid of everyone and go online. And this time I'm going to have them, because it just so happens to work out that it's the very beginning of the mod and they both can participate at the exact same time. I'm going to also hit on ground. And then I'm going to give them both the same due date. We'll give them June 1st and save. Remember that warning came up for the practice course. That doesn't matter. We're going to go continue. Okay. Let's go back to my modules. Test. The test is also going to be completed by both sections. So I'm going to go to test, edit, come back down, get rid of everyone, online. Online students, we'll have them do it on the 4th. And then we'll have on-ground students. We'll have them do on, too many clicks. We'll have them do on the 8th. So they're different due dates. And then save. Go back to modules. Okay, so we've done the tests. And notice now I have multiple due dates, which is kind of neat. So I can kind of hover over it as an instructor and I can see, oh yeah, my online is due May 28th, on ground is due May 31st. So it kind of tells you, gives you a little cheat sheet. So let's go to my assignment ICA. This is the last one I need to assign. I'm going to assign that to on ground because it's in the day. And if you don't see it, you can always start typing it in and your option will pop up. And save. Okay, so now I have everything assigned that my students need to complete in the module for both sections. So my double check is going to be in my assignment section. I'm going to go to assignment. And this time, instead of looking at each one of these, which I can hover if I want to, the easiest way to see how it's set up is to go to these 3 dots here. Click on your 3 dots and click on Edit Assignment Dates. Please do not click Assignment Group Weights. Those are weighted according to Campus View. Stay out of those, that'll cause a whole bunch of troubles. Just stay in Edit Assignment Dates. And now I have them set properly. Remember, Discussion 1.1 was only for my online students and they're assigned. Row 1 is for both. Discussion 6.1 was for both. Test was for both. And I had assignment just for on ground. So now I know. The only thing I can see that I'm missing is I don't have it available until date. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then save. So now I'm properly set up and ready to go. Let's take
We have a few questions.
Okay.
Is there a way to edit the sections we already have without having to reassign everyone?
I'm not quite understanding. You mean that you want to rename your sections? If you want to rename the sections, please do not do that because then you'll have to reset dates and it throws students off. So this would be going forward for the next module, but you can adjust due dates if you'd like to, if they're incorrect.
Okay, and is the until date mandatory to have a date listed?
Yes, and the reason that we want available until date, and we want the available until date to always be the last day of the module, is because that's going to be our safeguard. If we forget to put a 0 in for a student grade and just left it a check mark, then that will throw off our student's final score. But with having available until date in there, and this brings me to my next section, we're going to go to our grade book. Okay, so in the grade book, we're going to come over to the wheel. We're going to click on the wheel and we're going to set our automatic apply grade to missing submissions. So we're going to come here, we're going to click this and we're going to put a 0 in. So upon the last day of the module, which is my until date, if we forgot to put a 0 in as an instructor, what's going to happen by clicking that box, Canvas will automatically put a 0 in for us and then calculate the student's grade properly. Now don't forget, if for some reason you have a student who had turned in late work after the module had already ended because they were failing, then you would have to extend that until date out for them so that they would have access to submit. Any other questions?
I don't see any at this time, Jen. Thank you.
Okay, so let's take a look at our grade book now. We've set our late setting. Oh, and by the way, please don't set this, because if you do this, then what'll happen is Canvas will automatically keep deducting points every day something's late, and then it'll mess up your grade book and cause you more paperwork. Okay, so let's take a look at our grade book. We have dashes, which means our students are going to be required to do that work. The work that the students do not have to complete are grayed out. So we have that done properly and we're ready to go. Any questions, Sharon? Do I have I don't think I've missed anything.
No, I don't see anything, Jen. So should we unmute everybody and see if there are questions from the audience?
Yes. you are awful quiet group.
Well, one thing I want to point out too, like I spoke of earlier, we have, some of our schools now have designated Ross College online instructors. So if you're going into the course shell and you're seeing that maybe that individual has set up different dates, it's really important that the on-ground and the online team individuals stay in communication. Number one, in regards to just the students themselves, if they're completing the assignments, we have to really have a team effort here on this so that everybody is doing the same thing and the right thing for the students. If they go in and change some dates or dates are changed, that can have an adverse effect on our students in regards to knowing when their assignments are due. And the last thing we want to do is frustrate our students, okay? So please, if you're seeing that there are some discrepancies or some things that Jen has gone through here today on the training, and that individual that you're working with in the team, on a team effort, hasn't maybe been on the training, please reach out. I know you have your RCDs, they can help you with that in regards who that contact person is. I can let you know who that contact person is in case you're not quite sure. So just reach out so that we can, number one, make this a smooth transition, okay?
So the question I usually get asked on one of these trainings is, what happens if it's a clinic class and the students are all together doing the work at the exact same time? Do we still have to make an on-ground and an online section? And my answer to that is yes. So please create the sections. And when you go to assign the work, since they're all staying on the exact same days, you can either do two separate, like online or on ground, or you can just add on ground here for the same due date. Now, the reason we want to do that is because, like I said, we have people who will be looking in your course shells that are not familiar with the course or with your students, and they're looking for certain things. And we want to stay consistent with all of our words and all of our sections. And this way we can filter our students easy. So if we go to the grade book, if you haven't been using the filter feature, you can go view and you can go to filter. Now I can view by assignment groups, which would then give me just discussions, just rows, just tests to look at. Or I can go to modules and I can just go by day or week. And I can also filter just by section, where I can say, okay, I just want to look at my on-ground student, and I just see only my on-ground students. So those are very, very handy. Any questions so far? Now's your chance. You have our full attention.
So not a question with this, but I do want to know, you said this is being recorded, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because my day instructor is in class, and I also wanted the online instructor to know, so I just want to make sure that they're able to go back to look at this video, and even other instructors, so
Okay.
that's the question I have.
I will be sending the recording out to everyone on the call after.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I also would like to offer my help if anyone has questions that they think of later after the training, or they would like to just have a one-on-one where we can show just our screens together. I'm willing to do that. Just let me know and we'll set something up. Okay, Sharon, anybody come up on the chat?
Yes, I see one more. It says I have a grade question regarding late work for Simtex. If Simtex requires an 80% and we take 10% off, dropping them below the 80, is that acceptable?
Yes.
And I would put in notes.
Yes. So if they received a high enough grade to reach their 80 on Simtex, but they were late, then in notes, please put in extra 10 points was taken off acceptable grade because of the late submission.
Yeah, 10%, right. Any other questions, even, not regarding to this training today that we can answer? If it's have a muddy water in front of you, we can clarify.
Hi, this is Stephanie in Sylvania.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question regarding grading. There seems to be a lot of inconsistency between the on-ground and the online instructors grading. And I'm wondering if we can just get something at the top of every answer key that tells us how many points the assignment is actually worth, like if there's 35 points or 42, just so we can get some consistency between the instructors.
Well, each one of the assignments is based on 100. So if they have 20 questions, each question's worth 5 points. I think it's always kind of been that way.
Right, it's based on a scale of 100%. So,
Right, I understand that, but
Right.
There's some things that I'll count up and I have 22 points and the other instructor will have 42 points out of 100.
So each
So
time they
if we could just know how many actual points the assignment, like each question is worth, I think that would help be consistent.
well, like for row assignments,
Yes,
so each time the student has to fill something in, that's considered one question. So if you have, like question 1 has 3 places to put in a term, then that's considered 3.
okay. But if we have a question that says, explain this process, and the answer key shows 12 bullet points, and they do not have all of those 12 bullet points, is it really worth 12 points?
No, it's worth 1 then.
So that would just, if they have to list things, that's just 1 point.
Well, a list is different from bullet points. So
Okay.
if it had a list 12 things, then it would be 12 points. But if it's a question asking them how a procedure is supposed to run, then it would be 1. I can
Okay.
see if I can find a way to make a workaround. So I'll definitely put that on my to-do list for you. If it makes it easier, I'm happy to do it.
Perfect. Thank you, Jen.
All right, nothing else has shown up in the chat. So I'm going to assume that everybody's feels very comfortable in how to set up their dates now, how to keep their shells looking good, okay? If, like Jen said, if you have any questions, she is our super user, please reach out to Jen. I'm here to support you as well. So with that being said, you all have a very good day. And please do share this with your faculty. This is meant for every faculty member, anybody who teaches in the MA program especially, okay? It's really important that we have, that they get this information. All right, have a great day and a nice long weekend for those of you who are off tomorrow. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.